Welcome to WMMA Fighters. I'm live with Brittney Cloudy. How you doing, Brittney?
Hey, I'm great. How are you?
Doing all right. Thank you so much for taking the time and getting this set up.
Yeah, no problem. No problem. Glad that I can spend some time talking to you today.
Oh yeah, definitely. I appreciate it. So if you wouldn't mind, get this thing rolling. Just kind of walk us through how you got to where you are in MMA and really what got you started into the sport and what you like most about it.
Well, before I got into MMA, I did a couple of sports before. Like in high school, I played basketball and I ran track. And so I continued track into college. So I did college track D1 at SLU for all 4 years, and I even competed as a post-collegiate for a couple years after that. After that, I met my my fiance right now. And his name is Charles Johnson. He's also a professional MMA fighter, and I started watching him fight through his amateur career, and that's where I was introduced into MMA, really just kind of being the spectator on the side. And when I decided to finish my chapter with track, I was like, well, I want to try out jiu-jitsu. And so it was kind of like a slippery slope from there. I started learning some jiu-jitsu and some boxing, and then I kind of, just fell in love with it, and I just been going ever since. So like one of the biggest things what I like about MMA is the fact that it's a sport that requires you to be strategic.
Mm-hmm.
So not only must you possess, athletic abilities, but you also have to be smart with it, and you have to, learn a lot of techniques. So I like that it embodies both of those aspects.
Right, definitely. Yeah, and it's also well. First of all, it's a very, very impressive athletic background.
Yeah.
That's intense. So conditioning must be something you're all about then, huh?
Yeah, it's a huge part, but it's very different. Just coming from track, and I did a lot of running. It's very different coming into MMA. The conditioning is a lot more intense. I may not be running as long or practicing as long, but the intensity is definitely different, and the conditioning is different as well. But I think that conditioning that I have from track and other sports definitely still help me in this sport.
Oh yeah, definitely. So it's very strategic. I love the uniqueness that it's a one-on-one sport. I think that's really cool. So what are some of the things that you really enjoy the most about it?
Um, I think I like the learning process.
Mm-hmm.
I like the ability to see that I have learned and I've gotten better. It's not something that I just train for a little bit and I'm great at it. It's like a continuous process that even if I feel that I'm good at this, I can still do it better. So it's like something that I feel like it's something that's always surprising. You're always gonna have something that you can work on, which causes it to never be boring. So I think that's the greatest thing that I like about it.
Okay. Yeah, that's really cool. So do you have something when it comes to training? Do you prefer striking, or do you prefer to do grappling, or do you like them both equally?
Yeah, I like striking. I think that just me being tall and really long, like
Mm-hmm.
I have that that extra little feature that makes it harder for a lot of my opponents who are shorter than me. So I kind of have that as an advantage. So I really like using that. And then just like just boxing, the game of hitting them and not getting hit, you know. So it's like I like that. I like that aspect a lot. But then the more that I do jujitsu, the more, and like wrestling, the more I like the kill factor of, okay, now I beat you up on your feet, but now I'm going to take you down and now I'm going to finish you to where
Nice.
so that's the finishing component. Because, you can hope for a knockout or, hope for a knockout, but a guaranteed way to, in the fight is to submit them. That's where the person gives up. So I'm embracing that aspect of the sport a lot more as well.
Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a really cool way to look at it. And all fights start standing up, obviously. So,
Yeah.
yeah, preferring striking is probably a good way to go. Um, so, how long have you been competing in the sport?
Um, it's been about 3 years now, 3.5 years. My first competition I did the St. Louis Golden Gloves in 2016,
Mm-hmm.
and that was like my first boxing match ever. So um, that was like a wide awakening for me because it was just like 1 minute. I think our minutes were like 1 minute. Yeah, they were 1 minute rounds, so it was like a slugfest. But ever since then, I was like, okay, I kept coming back even though it was like pure savagery at that time. So it's been about 3.5 years though. So it hasn't really been that long and compared to a lot of other athletes who have been training for a while,
Mm-hmm.
but time has flown by and it's already been a few years. So I look forward to continuing on and where I'm going now.
Okay. Yeah, that's great. So going from there, what gym do you train out of?
I train at St. Charles MMA
Okay.
out of St. Charles, Missouri.
Okay. Have you been there in that area your whole life?
Yeah, I grew up in St. Louis.
Mm-hmm.
I live in St. Louis all my life, and I've been
Nice.
here since the beginning. So this is home.
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's really cool. So, um, when excuse my ignorance on this, but what division do you fight in?
I fight as a flyweight.
Okay, that's probably the hottest division right now, all across
Yeah,
women's MMA. I think. I mean, that is about as exciting as it gets. A lot of matchups, I would assume.
yeah. Recently, since especially, um, it's like a great incentive too for all 25ers since they've opened up the weight class in the
Hmm.
UFC. So it's like I'm seeing a lot of 125ers or people who are moving to that weight class maybe because it's a better fit for them. So yeah, it's a lot of excitement in our weight class.
Right. Definitely, definitely. So do you have any? Do you have a fight coming up before the end of the year?
No, I don't have anything scheduled right now.
Hmm.
I'm currently just focusing on right now finishing my master's. Getting my master's in counseling.
Oh wow. Okay.
Um, yeah, so I've been really focusing on my studies and training as I can.
Hmm.
So as soon as I'm finished with that, then I'll be back hardcore into the gym.
Well, now I really, really appreciate your time. 'Cause that I can only imagine what that workload is. That's
Yeah,
intense. So
yeah.
yeah, that's a wonderful thing. A lot of respect for you for getting into that. So would you want to focus? Do you have a focus that you want to? Uh, didn't ask that right. Do you want to focus on children, or is it going to be more of anybody? Or I don't
Yeah.
really know how that kind of works.
Yeah, well, since I've been teaching for like the last 5 years,
Hmm.
and I teach first grade now, and I really enjoy working with kids and teaching kids. So I think counseling gives me the option to open up to a wider range of ages. So I'm looking forward to like working with adults as well. I'm not opposed to working with kids, but I do have interest in like working with individuals and couples. So I'm kind of just open and I'm just wanting to get experience with all age groups with people.
Okay. Yeah, sorry, I butchered that question. I didn't know what I was asking.
No, I understood what you're trying
Okay.
to say though.
Well, I'm glad you did because I had no idea. That's just sometimes my mouth moves faster than it needs to. But that's
Yeah.
really really fantastic to hear. So that brings up this question. Can't imagine there's much, but so what do you like to do when you're not training or you're not working on your masters, and what do you do to kind of just unwind?
Well, I guess I am like a TV show movie junkie. Of course, I like if I want to do the absolute least amount of anything, I like to watch TV shows and Netflix and whatnot and movies. I also I like to read, so I like been reading a few different books, like for some book clubs with me and my friends. And I'm also like working on my own book that I plan on a book that I'm writing.
Wow.
So because I like the arts, so I like to write poetry.
Hmm.
So that's kind of like some of the things that I do. I just choose to do some of those things based on my mood. Been trying to get into doing some more yoga and mindfulness and meditation, all that good stuff for your mind, body, and soul.
Wow, that's really cool. I mean, yeah, that kind of stuff. So that'll be what your book is about.
My book's more like it's about it's about a lot of different things. It's more just on a sense of I want it to be um, a way to, as a poetry is a way to be expressive of yourself and to give a little vulnerability. And since my master's is in counseling, I do wanted to make it a emphasis of like self-help, of just being able to like hear similar stories that maybe you can relate to, and be able to have some support and some knowledge on where to go from here, or to feel, just for anyone who may feel like they're alone in the feeling, to have someone that's also out there to kind of help with that. So just wanting to tell your own personal story to make connections with other people, it's really kind of my aim for it.
Right. Well, that's fantastic. I think those make incredible stories. So good luck with that, and
Yeah, thank you.
definitely look forward to checking that out. So, yeah, you seem like very, very driven and determined, and I think that's huge for an MMA fighter. Um, do you enjoy traveling?
Yeah, I definitely do. This is one of my goals, really. I want to get to a point to where I can just travel and go to all of the places that that I see on the internet or the TV or reading books. I want to go and see things and visit and be immersed in different cultures around the world. So I've traveled a lot around the U.S. just from like track, going to different track meets and whatnot. So I've enjoyed going to different parts, but I really look forward to expanding my horizons and, seeing the world.
Yeah. So where are some places that you're just dying to go?
um, One place on the list that I really would like to go to, I really want to go to Thailand and train at Tiger Muay Thai. That'll be really cool. See a lot of good stuff from there. Just want to go over there and learn a whole bunch of stuff.
Hmm.
That's probably one of the first places that I thought about. And I wanted to go. I want to go to Africa. I have no specific place exactly, but that's one of the places I want to go. I definitely want to go there. And then I've also have like this whole list of places I want to go in Europe. So, I mean, one foot at a time, but
Right.
travel to all the different continents if I can.
Yeah, that would be pretty incredible. Well, you're pursuing a great sport for liking to travel as well. So I
Yeah,
would imagine there should
definitely.
be some opportunities popping up.
Yeah,
Go to various places. Yeah, Tiger Muay Thai is one of those places that I think as a fighter you need to experience if you can.
yeah, definitely. I watched the whole show that they had on. I forgot what it was called, but they were doing tryouts. Different people were trying out to be a sponsored athlete by Tiger Muay Thai, and it was pretty intense and awesome to watch.
Hmm.
I think his name was Quentin Thomas. He was a UMAF champion a couple years ago, and I also did UMAF as a regional champion there.
Hmm.
And so I saw that he actually made the team. So that was also like really cool to see someone that I've, come in contact with, you know, put in all that work and actually, found success there. So
Wow.
it's awesome.
Yeah, that is really really cool. Um, so now, are you a fan or a spectator of MMA?
I'm both. I mean, I compete, but then I also love to watch it
Hmm.
too. So
Yeah,
I'm
that's kind of
definitely a
like
fan.
that's kind of like a mixed. I get no, I don't really watch it just as much as I get. Yeah, I watch it. So who are some fighters that you have to see, and who are some that have motivated you or continue to motivate you?
Oh well. Um, if I just go down the fight cards that I've recently watched, I enjoyed watching Thug Rose and Joanna fight, and
Hmm.
Rose, just like her whole demeanor and everything as a fighter, I really love that about her. And going up against someone who has, was undefeated, and Joanna, definitely a very talented person. So both of them, are great to watch. I look forward to watching Valentina a lot more, especially because she's in the weight class now. And yeah, I'm looking also, and I like watching Cyborg. I still
Oh
feel
yeah,
like I haven't seen her unleash her true animal yet.
I don't think
So
she's
I'm
had to.
hoping. I know that's
that,
what I mean,
that's the
like
scary
she hasn't.
part.
So when she fights Nunez, I'm like, I think this might be the closest person to like really bring that out, and I'm looking forward to seeing that fight for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm glad you said that because that is a great point, and that's something that should freak a lot of people out because I agree. I don't think, and it's nothing against her opponents. I mean, just to step into the cage with Cyborg is amazing, but she hasn't had to. You know what I mean? She has not
yeah,
had to open it wide open because I've seen video of her training, and sometimes the training is
it's a
like
lot harder than
yeah,
yeah,
like I feel bad for the bag, you know,
yeah.
or the pads. I mean, yeah, she is no joke. But yeah, I think that this fight with Nunez, I think this could potentially go down as one of the greatest fights ever, in my opinion.
Yeah, just like, look, make sure everyone makes weight, make sure no one's having sinus problems or anything.
Right,
Show up, and then be ready for it.
right.
So I look forward to that, and of course, like on the guy's side, like, I mean, how could you not like and love watching Conor McGregor?
Hmm.
And then, I don't really like taking sides really a lot of times just because I know the sport and I'm like, anything can happen.
Right.
And when he was going up to Khabib, it was like, it's either going to go this way or that way. But, mad respect to both of them. They're exciting to watch. Um, you know, uh, Despite all of the um, drug issues or whatever going on with John Jones, I still enjoy watching him fight. Those fights with DC.
Hmm.
You know, just really enjoy watching any high level fighters really, you
Yeah.
know, go at it. And it's not, just one of those lopsided fights. I really like watching fighters who are like even with talent, and where it really comes down to the mental grit, like who wants it more. Those are like the best fights that I feel to me. Yeah.
Definitely, I agree, and I will never not love watching John Jones. He's still got plenty of years left. I think. Um,
Yeah.
I think as long as everything just quiet the haters. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that
Just
would
keep it
be
together.
yes, because he can still go down as the greatest in my opinion.
Yeah.
You
Agreed.
know, but yeah, that's great. I love asking that because, like I said, you don't really know what you're gonna get. So those are some big names there. But yeah, you're right about Cyborg. And the more I think about it, the more freaked out I get because I'm like, man, it's so true. It is so
Yeah,
true.
man. She's a freaking beast, and
Yeah, and you're
like
right.
everyone she's fought, like she's not really like really letting it go.
No, no.
You know,
And I, I
she
think
didn't
I think
have to,
that's
like you
mercy,
said.
right? I think that's kind of
Yeah,
mercy because she doesn't have to. Um,
yeah. See somebody make her sweat.
right. I don't. Yeah. If anybody can do it, it'll be Nunez for sure.
Yeah, yeah,
So
definitely.
what are some promotions that you have fought for?
Well, currently I'm signed to Invicta. I have 3 more fights with them.
Nice.
Um, and before that, I've fought locally a lot
Mm-hmm.
on our Gateway series and here in St. Louis. I bounced around a lot,
Yeah.
um, but it was been great to like have my whole pro debut be on Invicta. So it's like, you know,
Oh yeah,
I'm
definitely.
already starting off in a good spot, and I want to definitely capitalize on that opportunity to fight on such a great promotion.
Yeah, Invicta is wonderful. I love everything they do. So how do you feel about that flyweight division? I mean, I've said it a billion times about Pearl Gonzalez, especially. The new evolved Pearl. I think that flyweight division is probably the most exciting in MMA right now.
Yeah, I look at it. I look at a lot of the women who are, in my weight class, and I just look at it as I look at them in time increments of progress for me.
Hmm.
Like I know where I am in along my journey, and I'm still in the beginning, and my ceiling is very high.
Hmm.
So when I go in and I compete, or I'm thinking about competing against other people, it's really just me. Like, how much better am I going to be this fight? Because
Hmm.
I know that I have the capabilities of being a top fighter, and it's just some of those things that I'm just learning along the way
Hmm.
in each fight. In each fight, it will always be better. And as I crispen up my tools that I have and continue to add them, that I know that I'm gonna make this jump into the high ranks. So I feel like I'm starting slow for me personally, but I'm okay with that because even though I'm not like competing at the top level that I feel like I want to
Hmm.
right now, but I know that will come because I'm still like a baby in this sport. Yet because I'm still keeping up with the people who are, you know, in this ranking already. So when I take off, I'll take off
Hmm.
and I'll be ready,
Yeah,
especially
definitely.
for yeah.
Yeah, that's great. So I want to ask, don't want to keep you much longer, but how do you define success?
Well, I guess I kind of spoke on that a little bit. For me, success is being better than you were the day before,
Hmm.
in whatever aspect it is that you're trying to be better in. Whether it's I get up every day and I go teach, and I'm like, okay, well, what did I do, and what did I do well, and what did I do I need some improvement on, and then I go and I focus in on that, and I try to improve those things. Because if every day I'm trying to improve something that that is, if I'm working on my improvements, then every day I'm going to be that much better. So success is that continual growth,
Hmm.
you know, and as long as I'm continuing to grow and go forth, then I'm being successful. My success does not lie in the fate of
Hmm.
someone else's journey or being a part of that is all me, because I know that there's plenty of great people who have lost, but a part of the process, like losing is a part of the process, and
Hmm.
that tests your mental strength as well, because the sport isn't just physical; it's definitely a mental test. And as I'm strengthening physically, I'm also sharpening and strengthening mentally. So just success is just making sure that every day I'm getting better.
That's incredibly well put, and like you said, you can apply that to anything and everything, and that's a great lesson, and one that it's never too late. You know what I mean? It's never too late
Yeah.
to apply that kind of thinking, and pretty amazing probably the changes that you could make in your life too. So yeah, I love that. That's really awesome.
Yeah. I
Um,
mean, you witness some people whose life was one thing at one point in time, but they managed to change it completely all the way around and found success. So
right.
wherever you are, in whatever position you are in life, doesn't mean that that's where you have to be or stay.
Hmm.
You can always grow and be better.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. So, um, but yeah, like I said, I don't want to take up too much more of your time, but thank you so much for coming on here.
Oh, no problem. Thanks for having me.
Oh yeah, I wish you the best of luck. I mean, you're going to do great, and hopefully you get on an Invicta card again soon.
Yeah,
Uh,
definitely be looking out for that one. I'll be ready.
yeah, heck yeah. I know. hopefully I don't know if the Invicta 33 card is full yet or not, but maybe you'll get a call. That'd be great.
Yeah,
I think that flyweight division is going to get pretty busy. So
yeah, yeah, definitely.
yeah, I foresee a championship fight very soon. I think.
Yeah, definitely. It's coming. I feel it. There
Yeah,
needs to be. Sure.
definitely. All right. Well, thank you so much again. That was wonderful, and I appreciate all of your insight and these great lessons.
All right, no problem. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
Okay, you too.
See ya. All right, that was Brittney Cloudy, an Invicta fighter. Hopefully, she can get on a card again soon. I really enjoyed talking with her. She has great insight and great ways to you can apply those things that she taught to your everyday life, and that's what we try to do here. So, we have Yolanda Schmidt again, the Muay Thai master. Friday night, it'll be Saturday morning in her neck of the woods in Australia. So we'll have her again on Friday. And then we have another fighter on Sunday. I will post that out in another day or two. So everybody have a good evening, and thanks for being here.